What if I told you that most of what you know about money is completely wrong? That being smart with money has almost nothing to do with being smart at math. That you can be a genius and still go broke, or be completely average and become a millionaire. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful books ever written about finance. And no, this is not another boring lecture about budgets and spreadsheets. This is about you, your fears, your desires, your hidden biases. The book is called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And here's the truth, managing money is only 20% head knowledge. The other 80% is behavior. You can know every formula in the world. But if you can't control your emotions, fear, greed, envy, impatience, you will lose. Every single time. On the other hand, someone with average intelligence but rock-solid habits will win. Slowly, quietly, and then one day, they wake up truly wealthy. Over the next 2 hours, I'll walk you through all 20 chapters of this brilliant book. You'll hear real-life stories, surprising lessons, and practical tips you can use today, no matter how much money you have right now. By the end, you will understand why people do crazy things with money, how to build real wealth without being miserable, and the one secret that matters more than your salary, your investments, or your luck. So grab a notebook. Get comfortable. And let's rewire the way you think about money. And hey, if you find value in this, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because financial freedom isn't about luck. It's about psychology. Let's go. Chapter 1. No one is crazy. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at someone's financial decision and thought, what on earth are they doing? Are they insane? Maybe a friend bought a lottery ticket when they could barely pay rent. Maybe a relative invested in some shady crypto scheme. Maybe a neighbor took out a huge loan for a car they clearly couldn't afford. From the outside, it looks crazy. But here's the thing, no one is crazy. Everyone has a story. Everyone has lived through different experiences. And those experiences shape every single money decision they make. Think about it this way. Someone who grew up during high inflation, when prices doubled every few years, will invest very differently than someone who grew up during stable times. They might buy real estate or gold. They might distrust cash. Someone who grew up poor will think about risk and reward in a way that a rich kid can never fully understand. To the poor kid, a lottery ticket isn't just a gamble, it might feel like the only chance. Now listen to this story. John F. Kennedy was once asked what he remembered about the Great Depression, the worst economic crisis in American history. You know what he said? Nothing. My family was one of the richest in the world. We had bigger houses and more servants. He had no emotional memory of the Depression. He only read about it in books. Meanwhile, millions of Americans lost everything. They never forgot. So who makes better financial decisions? The person who studied the Depression, or the person who lived it? The answer is obvious. And that's exactly what two economists named Malmendia and Nagel discovered. They found that people's lifelong investment choices are shaped mostly by what happened in the stock market when they were young. If you grew up in a strong market, you invest more in stocks. If you grew up in a weak market, you avoid stocks. Not intelligence. Not education. Just the year you were born. So here's the lesson. Never judge someone's money decisions as crazy without knowing their story. Your personal experiences are only 0.000000001% of what has happened in the world. But they shape 80% of how you see the world. Everyone is acting rationally based on what they've lived through, including you. So be humble. Be curious. And next time you see someone doing something stupid with money, ask yourself, what did they experience that I didn't? Chapter 2, Luck and Risk. Here's a hard truth. Nothing in life is as good or as bad as it seems. Because standing right next to every success story is an invisible twin brother. His name is luck. And standing right next to every failure is another twin. His name is risk. You cannot separate them. And you cannot ignore them. Let me tell you a story that will blow your mind. Bill Gates. Yes, the Bill Gates became one of the richest people in history. But do you know the role luck played? In 1968, Bill Gates was a teenager at a private high school in Seattle called Lakeside. That school did something almost unheard of at the time. They bought a computer. Not just any computer. A teletype terminal connected to a mainframe, one of the few in the world. This was years before most universities had computers. Bill Gates fell in love with that machine. He spent every free hour on it. So did his friend Paul Allen. Together, they started Microsoft. Now, was Bill Gates smart? Absolutely. Hardworking? No question. But also, incredibly lucky. Because at the exact same time, there was another student at Lakeside. His name was Kent Evans. He was just as smart as Bill. Just as ambitious. Just as obsessed with computers. He and Bill were best friends. They planned to start a business together. But Kent never got the chance. He died in a mountain climbing accident before finishing high school. Same school. Same intelligence. Same ambition. 1 in a million luck for Bill Gates. 1 in a million risk for Kent Evans. That's the world we live in. So when you see someone wildly successful, don't assume it was all skill. Some of it was luck. When you see someone fail, don't assume it was all bad decisions. Some of it was risk. The problem is, we can't see luck or risk. We only see results. So we draw the wrong lessons. The smart thing to do: be humble when things go well. Be forgiving when things go badly. And focus on broad patterns, not individual stories. Because for every Bill Gates, there's a Kent Evans. And that changes everything. Chapter 3. Never enough. Let me ask you a dangerous question. When is enough actually enough? Because the hardest financial skill in the world is knowing when to stop. Warren Buffett once said something brutal about two men named Gupta and Madoff. You might have heard of Bernie Madoff, the biggest fraud in history. He ran a $50 billion Ponzi scheme. Buffett said, they risked what they had and needed, for something they didn't have and didn't need. Pure stupidity. Think about that. They already had millions. They already had everything they could ever want. But they wanted more. And to get more, they risked everything. That's not ambition. That's insanity. Here's the thing. There is no logical reason to risk something important for something unimportant. But people do it all the time. They have $5 million, and they want 10. They have 10 million, and they want 20. The goalposts keep moving. And they never feel satisfied. Why? Because of comparison. You compare yourself to people richer than you. And there's always someone richer. So you always feel behind. The only way to win: stop playing the comparison game. Learn to say enough. Enough money means you control your time. Enough means you sleep well at night. Enough means you're not a slave to more. Because greed doesn't make you happier. It just moves the finish line farther away. 1 step forward moves the goal 2 steps back. You run faster and faster, but you never arrive. So here's your challenge: decide what enough looks like for you. Write it down. And when you get there, stop. Chapter 4. The power of compounding. This might be the most magical word in finance, compounding. But most people completely misunderstand it. They think compounding is about earning high returns. It's not. It's about earning good returns for a very long time. Let me show you with a story. Warren Buffett is worth about $84 billion. But here's the shocker: 99% of that wealth came after his 50th birthday. 97% came after his 60th. Think about that. By the time he was 60, he was already a very successful investor. But almost all his money came later. Why? Because he started investing seriously when he was 10 years old. He's been compounding for over 70 years. His secret isn't just picking good stocks. His secret is staying in the game for decades. Now think about an ice age. An ice age doesn't happen because one year has a huge blizzard. It happens because snow stays on the ground for thousands of years. A little bit each year, never melting. Compounding. The same with money. Small amounts, saved consistently, invested patiently, grow into fortunes. But most people can't wait. They want fast money. They jump in and out of investments. They chase hot tips. And in doing so, they break the compounding machine. Here's the truth: you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be patient. Even average returns over a long time will make you rich. The hardest part isn't the math. It's the waiting. Chapter 5: Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Here's something most people don't realize. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. Getting wealthy requires taking risks. You have to bet on yourself. You have to swing for the fences. But staying wealthy requires the opposite. It requires humility, caution, and fear of losing what you have. Let me tell you about Jesse Livermore. In the 1920s, Livermore was one of the most famous traders on Wall Street. He made millions. He was a genius at reading markets. But he lost everything. Multiple times. He'd make a fortune, then lose it. Make another fortune, lose it again. Eventually, he couldn't recover. He killed himself. His problem? He was great at getting rich, but terrible at staying rich. He couldn't stop taking huge risks. Now compare that to someone you've never heard of. Someone who quietly saves, invests in boring index funds, and never touches the money. That person might not become famous, but they will stay wealthy. The most important part of any financial plan is having a plan for when the plan fails. Because it will. Markets crash. Economies go bad. Life happens. The survivor isn't the one who made the most money. It's the one who didn't risk everything. So ask yourself, are you playing the game of getting rich, or staying rich? Because they require opposite mindsets. Chapter 6, Tails. You win. Here's a liberating thought. You can be wrong half the time, more than half, and still be very wealthy. Why? Because a tiny number of events create most of your success. In statistics, these are called tails, the rare, extreme outcomes. Let me give you an example. There was an art dealer named Berggruen. Over his life, he bought thousands of paintings. Most were worth very little. Some were worthless. But a few were Picassos. A few were Matisses. Those few made him a billionaire. He was wrong 99% of the time. But the 1% that worked, made up for everything. Warren Buffett is the same. He's made hundreds of investments. Most were average. A few were terrible. But a handful, like Coca-Cola, like American Express, were home runs. In fact, if you remove the 10 best investments from Berkshire Hathaway's history, the rest is completely mediocre. But those 10 tails made them the greatest investors of all time. So what's the lesson? Stop expecting to be right every time. Expect to be wrong. Often. But when you are right, be very right. Let your winners run. Don't cut them early. And cut your losers quickly. Most of your results will come from a tiny fraction of your actions. So focus on finding those few big wins, and don't let the many small losses discourage you. Chapter 7, Freedom. The highest dividend. What is the true value of money? Not a bigger house. Not a faster car. Not a nicer watch. The greatest return on money is freedom. Control over your time. Being able to wake up and do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. That is priceless. A psychologist named Angus Campbell studied happiness for decades. He found that the strongest common factor among happy people was not income, not house size, not job title. It was a feeling of control over their lives. Money's greatest gift is buying you the ability to say no. No to a job you hate. No to a boss you can't stand. No to a social obligation you don't want. It gives you the ability to wait, to choose, to walk away. So don't trade your time for money in ways that make you miserable. A high-paying job that owns your soul is not wealth. It's a gilded cage. Wealth is the money you haven't spent yet. It's options. It's flexibility. It's independence. The highest dividend money pays is your freedom. Never forget that. Chapter 8. The paradox of the car. Let me tell you something that might sting a little. No one is as impressed by your possessions as you are. We buy expensive cars, watches, and houses because we think others will admire us. But here's the truth, they don't. The author of this book used to work as a valet parking cars. He saw people drive Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royces. He used to think, wow, if I had that car, people would respect me. Then one day he realized something. When he saw a Ferrari pull up, he never looked at the driver. He only looked at the car. Other people are the same. They don't admire you for your car. They just imagine themselves owning it. So all that money spent to impress strangers? Wasted. The only person who truly cares about your stuff is you. So stop trying to impress others. They aren't paying attention. They're too busy thinking about themselves. If you want respect, be humble, be kind, be helpful. That's far more impressive than any watch or car. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. Here's a trick your eyes play on you. Wealth is invisible. When you see a nice car, you don't see the debt the owner took to buy it. When you see a big house, you don't see the mortgage payments that keep the owner up at night. The author tells a story about a guy named Roger. Roger drove a Porsche. Everyone thought he was rich. Then one day, Roger showed up in an old, beat-up Honda. What happened to the Porsche? Someone asked. They took it, Roger said. He couldn't make the payments. Roger was never wealthy. He just looked wealthy. Big difference. So here's the lesson. Don't judge wealth by visible spending. True wealth is the bank account you don't see. The investments you don't touch. The freedom you've saved up. Building wealth requires ignoring what others think and living below your means. It's not glamorous. But it works. Chapter 10. Save money. This chapter is short but powerful. The only thing you can fully control is your savings rate. And it matters more than your investment returns or your income. Here's an example. The US economy uses 60% less energy per dollar of GDP than it did in 1950. Why? Not because we found more oil or coal. Because we learned to use less. Same with money. You don't need a higher income. You need lower spending. Every dollar you don't spend is saved. Every dollar saved grows. Savings is the gap between your ego and your income. The less you care about what others think, the more you can save. High savings means you can wait for good opportunities. You can take risks. You can survive bad luck. Savings is the ultimate flexibility. So save more. Spend less. It's that simple. Chapter 11. Reasonable. Rational. Here's a word that will change how you think about money. Reasonable. In finance, we're taught to be rational. To follow the math. To ignore emotions. But here's the problem, you're not a robot. You're a human being with fears, hopes, and bad days. So being reasonable, making decisions you can actually stick with, is better than being mathematically rational. Example. A doctor once treated syphilis by giving patients malaria. The fever killed the bacteria. Mathematically, it made sense. But it was brutal. Many patients died. That was rational, but it wasn't reasonable. Another example. A Nobel Prize winner named Harry Markowitz was asked how he invested his own money. He said, I split it 50-50 between stocks and bonds. Was that mathematically optimal? No. But it helped him sleep at night. And that's what matters. So when you make financial decisions, ask yourself, will this let me sleep well? If the answer is no, change the plan. Reasonable beats rational every time. Chapter 12. Surprises. History is not a guide to the future. Because the future is full of surprises. In 2006, almost no one predicted the 2008 financial crisis. In 2019, no one predicted a global pandemic. The experts are almost always wrong, because they assume tomorrow will look like yesterday. But it never does. So don't trust predictions. Plan for surprises. Leave room for error. Build flexibility into your life. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. The world changes. And the most important events are the ones that have never happened before. Chapter 13. Room for error. This might be the most practical chapter in the book. The most important part of any plan is having a margin of safety. Room for error. A buffer. Think about card counters in blackjack. They don't bet everything when they have a small edge. They keep enough cash to survive losing streaks. They know they can be right and still lose in the short term. Same with money. Save more than you think you need. Invest more conservatively than you think you should. Assume your returns will be lower than history. If they're higher, great. If they're lower, you survive. A 1/3 buffer is often enough. As Charlie Munger says, the best way to be happy is to have low expectations. So give yourself room to be wrong. Because you will be. Chapter 14. You will change. Here's something uncomfortable. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. And you won't be the same person 5 years from now. Your goals, your desires, your priorities, they change. So why do we make long-term financial plans as if we'll never change? The author tells a story about a friend who dreamed of becoming a doctor. He struggled for years but finally succeeded. 10 years later, he was miserable. The job he wanted so badly was destroying him. His goals had changed, but he felt trapped. So the lesson? Don't make irreversible financial decisions that lock you into a life you might not want later. Avoid high fixed costs. Keep your options open. It's okay to change your mind. The cost of changing is better than the cost of being stuck. Chapter 15. Nothing is free, everything has a price. But the price is not always on the label. The price of investing is not dollars and cents. It's volatility, fear, uncertainty, and regret. You have to pay that price to get the returns. From 1950 to 2019, the stock market grew about 11% per year. But during that time, the market fell at least 10% on 102 separate occasions. That's the price. If you try to avoid the pain, by selling during crashes, you will also avoid the gains. The price is real. Pay it or don't play. Chapter 16. You and me, different people have different goals, time horizons, and risk tolerances. What is smart for one person may be stupid for another. In the dot-com bubble, people thought buying Yahoo stock for thousands of times earnings was crazy. But if you were a day trader trying to make money in the next hour, it might have made sense. If you were a long-term retiree, it was insane. Same stock. Different games. So know what game you're playing. Don't copy other people's strategies without understanding their situation. A 25-year-old with a stable job can take more risk than a 65-year-old retiree. Be careful whose advice you follow. Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimism. Here's a weird fact about human nature. Pessimism sounds smarter than optimism. It sounds more intelligent, more realistic, more sophisticated. But optimism is usually the better bet for the long term. In 2008, everyone was predicting disaster. The Wall Street Journal ran a story saying the worst was yet to come. But over the next decade, the stock market tripled. Pessimism feels wise, but it often misses the slow, steady progress that happens underneath. Yes, there are setbacks. Yes, bad things happen. But the long-term trend is up. For centuries, the world has been getting better for most people. So be skeptical of pessimistic predictions. They get more attention, but they are often wrong. Be optimistic about the future, even while you prepare for problems. Chapter 18. Stories are more powerful than statistics. People don't believe numbers. They believe stories. A good story can make you ignore the facts, even when the facts are right in front of you. A documentary once asked a 100-year-old woman, "What was the happiest day of your life?" She said, "The day the armistice was signed ending World War I. She was so happy because she thought there would never be another war. But World War II started 21 years later and killed 75 million people. Her story was wrong, but she believed it completely. We all tell ourselves stories about money that may not be true. I'll be happy when I have $1 million. If I buy this house, I'll feel secure." Check your stories against reality. Don't let a compelling narrative blind you to the truth. Chapter 19. The author's personal summary. Now the author shares his own financial philosophy. And it's wonderfully boring. Here are his rules. 1. Save as much as you can. Savings is the gap between your ego and your income. 2. Live below your means. Wealth is what you don't spend. 3. Give yourself room for error. Assume your plans will fail and prepare for it. 4. Invest for the long term. Time is the most powerful force. 5. Know your own game. Don't compare yourself to others. 6. Be reasonable, not necessarily rational. That's it. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to be patient, humble, and consistent. The people who succeed with money are not the ones who make the best trades. They are the ones who survive. Chapter 20, My Personal Finance Biography. Finally, the author reveals his own financial decisions. Not because he's special, but to show that his advice is real. He saves about 20% of his income. He invests in low-cost index funds. He keeps a large emergency fund in cash. He owns a modest house. He does not try to beat the market. He knows he cannot predict the future, so he doesn't try. The best financial strategy is boring. It's about surviving, not thrilling. It's about sleeping well, not getting rich quick. If you want to be wealthy, be boring. Conclusion: the 20 lessons. Let me leave you with the 20 lessons from this book, one last time. 1. No one is crazy. Everyone's decisions make sense given their experiences. 2. Luck and risk are twins. Nothing is as good or bad as it seems. 3. Know when to stop. Enough is a superpower. 4. Compounding needs time. Start early, stay patient. 5. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are different skills. 6. A few big wins make up for many small failures. 7. Freedom, control over your time, is the highest dividend. 8. People don't admire you for your stuff. They just want it for themselves. 9. Wealth is invisible. It's money not spent. 10. Savings rate matters more than investment returns. 11. Reasonable beats rational. Do what helps you sleep. 12. The future is full of surprises. Plan for them. 13. Leave room for error. Margin of safety keeps you alive. 14. You will change. Don't lock yourself into irreversible decisions. 15. Nothing is free. The price of returns is volatility and fear. Pay it. 16. Know your own game. Don't copy others blindly. 17. Pessimism sounds smart, but optimism wins long term. 18. Stories are more powerful than numbers. Check yours. 19. Save, live below your means, be patient. 20. Boring is beautiful. Survive, then thrive. The real secret to money isn't complicated. It's not about finding the perfect stock. It's not about some fancy formula. It's about knowing yourself, saving more than you spend, and giving yourself time to be human. Because true wealth isn't how much you earn. It's how much you keep, and how you use it. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps this channel grow. I make more videos just like this about books to change the way you see the world. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video.